All right, we're back again with another episode of Roofer Reflections. I'm really excited because I have Blaine here today. So, Blaine, thank you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
The first thing I noticed, at least online, was a education with initial education in history.
I knew I wanted to be a Marine officer before I got into roofing, and it was really tough to get in. So, I mean, I had to do anything that I could to have a competitive edge just to be accepted into my program. And, I think history was the way.
So, what happened from there?
So I wanted to be a tank officer. I got to be a tank officer. I went to Fort Benning after that. I went to a bunch of different schools, had some really high-end training. It was really, really a great time in my life. I was finally hitting my groove, right? It's like any other, I think, career. I mean, I've had two jobs essentially. I've been a Marine officer and now a roofer, waterproofer, right? And it was a really unique time, really fun. I mean, I got to travel quite a bit and see, a lot of the world where a lot of people don't get that opportunity. So, I mean, that was my background. And then during that time, Zenith, who I worked for, is my family's company. That's when we had kind of decided that I was offered a full-time position before I got out, a couple years before I got out. And I started making that transition to, dedicating my education, my professional expertise to roofing and waterproofing. So before I joined the company full time, I was already kind of studying up and trying to do my best to become, an expert in my field, right? I mean, I'm a person that I just think that, knowledge is power, right? It's an old cliche, but if you really dedicate yourself to it, then it's something that's very powerful. And that's how I think we try to take ourselves to market as well. We try to position ourselves as those as an industry expert, and we want to be there for our customer and help them make the right buying decision ultimately. So that was kind of a lot, but that's sort of the initial story into roofing.
What are some things that you to this day sort of rely on or sort of remember through that experience?
The biggest lesson that I learned was it was at Officer Candidate School, and the motto of Officer Candidate School in the Marine Corps is Ductus Exemplo, which is Latin for leadership by example. You have to be willing to do anything that you're asking somebody else to do, and people need to know that, and they need to see it and feel it every day. And then the other thing is like you got to be doing the right thing at all times, even when people aren't looking, and especially when people aren't looking, because when people aren't looking, or when you think somebody's not looking, chances are somebody is.
What's been your sort of a highlight? Something that you're proud of.
Honestly, I think something that I'm proud of is just seeing where the company's gone. I mean, I'm not taking credit for it either. I think that I'm just glad to have been here while we're continuing to grow and expand. And we've really just I've just been very proud of how everything has evolved. And I mean, this company's been around for 43 years, so there's nothing that it hasn't already seen.
You've been part of this for a while now. And if someone new that's considering the roofing industry as a career, I mean, what sort of advice or things would you tell them?
I always say, and I take this from my days as a Marine, it ain't rocket surgery, right? And what I mean by that is it's simple, right? But that doesn't mean that it's easy. Anybody who wants to come in, I think this is a great profession to be a part of. I think it's an incredible industry. There's nothing really bad that I have to say about it other than you better be ready to put the work in. And that's my advice.